tonight. So, I'm well, I hope you're well. So, some exciting news, at least exciting to me. A couple days ago, I went out to a town called Chino Hills. And I spent a ridiculous sum of money. And I mean a ridiculous sum of money. Probably wasted, quite frankly, thousands of dollars. But I had to have it. And me being me, I bought it. It's the largest train that I have personally seen that wasn't an actual, real train. A model train, I'll show it to you here in a moment. To my knowledge, it doesn't actually have a scale. It is not big enough to ride on. Well, actually, it probably is big enough to ride on, but it's primarily homemade and made of wood, and I don't think it would support the weight of a grown person. But it is that size, I suppose. The wheelbase is actually 4.5 inches across. It is massive. The cars themselves are about 4 feet long. And again, I went out to a town called Chino Hills to purchase it. Very nice fellow was parting with it. I think primarily it's intended for display on some level. I haven't been able to figure out how old it is. It was made some time ago. And the gentleman I purchased it from spent some time repairing it. It sounds like it had some damage. Hard to say. There is a couple of spots that I need to address. But we'll see. My long-term plan is to hopefully build some track in perhaps the backyard and front yard and be able to have it go all the way around. It would need I think a 24 volt or 24 amp. It'll need a pretty good transformer, I think, to get it going. We tested it; it does work. But anyway, I'm going to show you some pictures for the time being, because this is going to be a long-term project and it's so massive. I had to find a spot in the house. Twofold. I didn't want to just put it away in storage where I wouldn't get to see it and enjoy it, but I also couldn't just have it. Quite frankly, this place is starting to get kind of full, so I had to put it someplace where I could see it and enjoy it. And I'm very fortunate in my living room. I have a cathedral ceiling, and there's a shelf that runs, I don't know, about 10, 12 feet in the air, and I was able to put the train on that shelf. I probably should have recorded this before I put the train on the shelf, because now that it's up there, I don't want to take it down until it's time to take it down, if you know what I mean. And one more thing of note, you'll see up along the shelf, there's an American Flyer Santa Fe Super Chief with several Pullman and observation cars. That is the famous S-scale. So for those of you who are familiar with S-scale, it'll give you an idea of the actual size of this train from a perspective standpoint. And I'll also show you a picture when I first brought it home. In fact, you'll see that here next. I've got a can of Diet Coke next to it to help give you some perspective on its size. But I think the American Flyer Super Chief, which is super cool, I'll do a video on that. That's one of my most favorite trains, really ever. But anyway, without further ado, I just wanted to show this to you. Hopefully, maybe some of you that watch this may have some idea of what size it is, and I don't want to say what it is, but you know what I mean. Anyway, here, take a look. I'm going to show you a still shot of the locomotive when I first got it home with the can, and then we'll do sort of a flyby. I've got a tripod that's got an arm on it, a quick flyby, and then we'll do a little close-up detail, and I'll see you on the other side. So as you can see, this is a massive, massive locomotive. It's mostly, I think it's almost all homemade, to be honest with you. Most of it is wood. The distance between the wheels here is about 4.5 inches. Hopefully you can see the gear drive there. That does work. The headlight works. My long-term plan is to maybe build a track out in the backyard, but that's a long, long way off. So I thought for the time being, the safest place would be up here on this shelf in the living room, so I can enjoy it as I sit and watch television, and also obviously to keep it safe. I think it's old, certainly older. It's not in perfect condition, but that's okay. I think it's probably mostly intended for display, but that remains to be seen. Let's get a little closer to the tender here. So here's the tender, again, our locomotive. This shelf, I'm fortunate I have cathedral ceilings in the living room, so this is a shelf that allows me to enjoy this here. You can see the first rail car, and the train that sits in front, that's actually S gauge. That's an American Flyer Santa Fe Chief with some cars. Hopefully that gives you an idea of just the scale of this monster. Again, I'm just an old American Flyer from the 50s, S scale. Hopefully you can see all the detail. Those actually open. I probably should have recorded this before I placed it up on this shelf, so it's a little awkward to show you everything, but it's up here, and I'm not bringing it down because it was a challenge getting it up here. But as you can see here, these doors, these will actually open up. And as I mentioned before, so will the hatches up top. But it's really, really just absolutely magnificent in its size. You can see the tender has a light, it works as well. It looks like it has a plug for a whistle, but it does not blow any smoke. Again, in this American Flyer that you see in front, this is S scale. Let's go on to the next car here. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I suppose it doesn't need a name necessarily, but I have this terrible habit of naming things. Again, this door right here actually opens as well. There you go, you can kind of see. Slides right open. Oops, took it a little too far. All right, I'll fix that in a second. And again, the Super Chief. And let's head over to the caboose. Kind of another shot. Here is the caboose in all her glory. And the wheels, about 4.5 inches apart. I really think it's amazing, and hopefully someday it won't just be a display in this house, that I can actually get it on some track and maybe see it go around the house. Time will tell. At the moment, I'm just sort of enjoying just really how beautiful it is. It is almost, at least to me, like a work of art. Hopefully you feel the same. So what did you think? I think it's awesome. If it never even left that shelf, I'm still super pleased. But again, the long-term goal is ultimately to build something at some time, someplace, somewhere. Anyway, hopefully you got a kick. I'm glad it's in my collection. In this world, when you can be anything you want, You be kind, you be humble, you be forgiving, and well, hopefully I'll get inspired and I'll get to work. Well, there's a lot of other things I got to do, but in the coming years, hopefully that'll come down off the shelf and we'll actually see her run. And yes, I have to come up with a name. I don't know. We can't call it Condor Flats or Bourbonville because obviously that's for the Lionel track in the other room. So we'll come up with some Big Bertha, something more clever than that, obviously. But anyway, have a good night. We'll see you next time. Bye.